I knew Karena McClerkin when we were kids. We grew up in the same neighborhood in Kokomo, Indiana. Her family's house was just a short walk from mine. On warm afternoons, we'd play outside, running through yards, laughing about nothing, daring each other to race to the corner and back. Even as a child, Karena had a spark. She was quick to smile, always ready to speak her mind. She was the kind of person you didn't forget. But one October day in 2016, Karena disappeared, and for nearly 6 years, no one knew what happened to her.
It was October 11th, 2016. Karena was just 18 years old. She'd been out that day in Kokomo, but she never came home. At first, maybe it didn't seem like an emergency. Teenagers sometimes stay out late. Maybe she was with friends. But by the next day, her family knew something wasn't right. 2 days later, on October 13th, they reported her missing. From that moment, the search began. Kokomo is not a big city. News of Karena's disappearance spread fast. Her face was on posters, shared online, printed in the local paper. Her family knocked on doors. They called friends, neighbors, anyone who might have seen her, but no one had answers. No one knew where Karena was. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. And the longer she was gone, the more fear grew. For nearly 6 years, Karena's family lived with a terrible question. Where is she? Every day, they woke up and hoped for news. Every time the phone rang, they prayed it was the call that would bring her home. Her birthdays passed in silence. Holidays felt emptier. Her mother once said it was like living in two worlds, one where life kept moving forward and one where time stood still. The police investigated, but for years, there were no big breakthroughs. Leads went cold. Then, in the fall of 2021, everything shifted. Police got a tip, something strong enough to reopen the search in a serious way. They didn't share details with the public right away, but behind the scenes, investigators were moving quickly. On July 18th, 2022, a warrant was issued for a man named Flint Farmer, 57 years old, on charges of murder. The very next day, investigators went to a rural area in Miami County, Indiana. There, they found skeletal remains. Testing would confirm it was Karena McClerkin. The news was devastating. After so many years of not knowing, her family finally had an answer. But the answer was one they had dreaded from the beginning. It was the end of the search, but not the end of their pain. Flint Farmer was arrested and charged with murder. For almost 3 years, the case moved toward trial. In the courtroom, prosecutors argued that Farmer was responsible for Karena's death. The defense claimed there wasn't enough proof. And then, on May 8th, 2025, the verdict came in, not guilty of murder, not guilty of voluntary manslaughter. For Karena's family, it was another kind of heartbreak. After nearly 9 years since she first went missing, there was still no justice. When I think of Karena, I don't just think of the news stories or the trial. I think of a little girl with big dreams, running barefoot down our street. I think of the way she'd laugh, loud and unapologetic. She deserved to grow up. She deserved to live the life she dreamed of, even though the case ended without a conviction. Her story will not be forgotten. If there's one thing Karena's story reminds us, it's how fragile life is, and how important it is to fight for the people we love. Some cases may never get the justice they deserve, but we can still honor the lives behind them, and for Karena, I'll keep telling her story.